The side I really want to look at it from as well, just the Denver Nuggets and what they lost to their roster. When we think about the Denver Nuggets, that year they won the championship and why they were so heavily favored last year for basically the whole season was that starting five was just so well put together. Everybody referred to them as a well-oiled machine. And KCP was such an important part to that roster, especially offensively and defensively. I mentioned what he can do for Orlando with his point of attack defense and the assignments he took on. It allowed Jamal Murray to be hidden in a way. It allowed the Nuggets to keep pressure off of guys like Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. It was really KCP and Aaron Gordon really manning that defensive end. And I think it made it easier on Jokic, where he was able to really fare up and just use his size, body, and wingspan, where he didn't really have to move his feet, but so much because they were able to contain players in a specific area that put the Nuggets in an advantage for Jokic to still be in position to stay in front of his guy while also a guy like KCP navigating through screens to be able to stick with the ball handler. So Jokic wouldn't have to come out too far, which would leave open rebounds. If he had to help out and contest the ball handler, he was still in a position to get rebounds. And you know what he can do once he gets the rebound, take it on, put it on the floor, run the break. And it's little things like that that allowed that Denver defense to still be functional, even though they didn't have the whole unit to where we would say, oh, that's like an all defensive team. I think that that's a big piece of why they were able to be competitive defensively. And then just offensively, KCP still was able to hit those timely shots. You think about Jokic and Murray in the two game, and then you think about just how Aaron Gordon was able to work the baseline. They had so much spacing because of Porter Jr.'s ability to be a sniper, KCP's ability to hit, catch and shoot shots. And even when it wasn't just a standstill catch and shoot, he was able to put the ball on the floor, take a one dribble, two dribble pull up, and knock them down very efficiently, get to the rim when needed. It just fits so well together. KCP was a big piece that allowed everyone to pretty much be at their best. And a team that was already kind of depleted roster wise, like the starting five was really the only reason people were still picking them to be favorites. We knew that they lost Bruce Brown, who was a big piece of their squad. We knew that they lost a guy like Jeff Green, who was a big piece of their squad. And it seems like in free agency, they kind of just keep losing people. You know, they have Peyton Watson, who's shown a lot of promise defensively, Christian Brown, who showed a lot of promise defensively mainly, and then just competing. He had some bright spots offensively, but those guys are not going to fit in as well as KCP did. And you saw whenever one of those five guys I mentioned in the starting five were not on the court, things just didn't go as well as we know they could when they had their best five out there. So I think this is a big loss for the Denver Nuggets. And I'm really curious as what their move is, because you think about a guy like Klay Thompson, I don't think he would have been as high upside, defensively as KCP, but he could be another sniper out there if they were able to get a guy like Klay. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to find that. So they're going to have to keep banking on the fact that their young players may develop. But I think they really lost something very important to their squad here.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You just outlined how much of an important piece KCP was to that team. So it's going to be tough replacing that. It's going to be tough building their roster back up to the point where it was. And we'll see how they go about doing that and how effective it will be as we get into this next season and then seasons after that. But yeah, it's going to be tough to replace KCP on the Denver Nuggets. I think that he was a really important piece to that team. Like you just mentioned, shooting the basketball, playing defense, being a high IQ player to play alongside Jokic and Murray and playing off of those two and being just a connective piece on that team. It's a big loss for the Nuggets. We'll see how they recover from it. But moving forward, I think it's a great move for the Orlando Magic, and we'll see how that goes forward into this next season.